I realized that how I dress or what I wear, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't make the person. I ripped my last pair of slacks on a barbed wire fence, so I said, I'm going to quit doing this, and started wearing jeans, which I preferred to wear anyway.
I grew up on a small farm in southeast Texas. We farmed cotton, corn, raised cattle. We were always doing something outside with the land.
My partner in the company and I, John Paul Lampson, we started in 1984. We all have a passion for what we do, and I think our clients see that.
Andy makes a challenge seem like it's not a challenge.
When Andy shows up in his Ford pickup and his camouflage hat, you can't beat that.
I can always trust his advice on anything because he doesn't try to paint a picture that isn't reality.
My father had open heart surgery. He was in Kansas hunting, and we didn't know if he was going to make it. And I had to scramble to close a 1031 property without his advice. And I went to Andy. He had a 680-acre tract in Coleman Hill, Texas, and we found a tract just in time to close. It was 680 acres in Coleman Hill. Looked at it one time. We had the 1031 money. We barely meet the deadline, and we closed it. HomeLand sold the whole property out in 10-acre tracts. It was one of the best deals we ever made.
In 2011, in the state of Texas, we had a year of historic wildfires. And early on in the year, I got a phone call from Andy saying, hey, I have a client out of Houston that wants to buy 730 acres up here in East Texas. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? And so we were able to transact on a 730 acre deal. We were very appreciative. Andy just did a great job of helping the buyer to stay calm and cool and get through the transaction and get that done. And it was pretty amazing. That always stood out in my mind. I couldn't believe he did that.
HomeLand Property has been my broker for the last 4 years, and with the company actually before I came. They had a relationship with TIR long before I was employed with TIR. I was on a tract of property yesterday in northeast Texas, and I didn't have signal to get him, but I called him to get his advice, and which he always freely shares. I really appreciate that. He's definitely someone I work with, but I also consider him to be a great friend.
I think it's very important to live what you love and love what you do.
I really like solving problems. I like helping people, and I like being outdoors.
It's fun to see the diversity of properties that we have available and how diverse East Texas is.
What I like the most about the majority of our properties now in this market is the recreation aspect. The recreation just opens it up for the average person. They could buy 20 acres, they can use it for a campsite, for hunting, build a lake, use it for fishing for their family, have their own weekend getaway. So the opportunities are endless.
In my career, I've gone from no cell phone, no fax machine when we started, no computers, to where we are today.
I remember before drones came out, I would go up in a prop plane and hang out the window with my digital camera to get aerial shots. And thankfully we have drones now, so I don't have to do that.
We are prepared to show you a property no matter what that meets. I laugh, but we live in our vehicles, so I would say that's one of our best tools. We have apps on our phone that show us the mappings, the different opportunities as far as the aerials and the topography and the floodplains and all the things that we pull, things that you wouldn't think of if you were just coming and looking at a property and not figuring out exactly what would be best for you.
A lot of our properties, especially in deep East Texas, they don't have an address. You don't have 123 Maple Street, crooked dirt county roads and even private roads. And so from a seller's perspective, it really was good to have a company that put a lot of information together before it ever went on the market.
We're not afraid to get dirty. And sometimes selling land, you gotta get dirty.
The key to success, as I was saying, in any business is hard work. You get there early and stay late, treat people right, be ethical, and I think the rest of it takes care of itself.
Any good business relationship is based on trust and loyalty, and that's what we get from HomeLand Properties.
Everyone that is associated with HomeLand Properties has just a strong bond and a strong feeling towards the company. People come first. We've always treated people very fairly, and I think that as a result of that, you see the employees we have now and how they feel about our company.
I really consider that all of us together make up a large family.
We have lost staff people over the years, whether it be agents or office staff, and it's easy when we get to say goodbye. It's not easy when we don't get to.
Linda was her name, and she was so wonderful at her job. She would never let you know if she needed help because she was so good at what she did.
I couldn't be more thankful or more proud of the people that I work with because they are so loving.
None of this matters. None of this matters. We wouldn't be here without His grace. That's why we're here right now. If His mercy and grace can get us through the simplest and the hardest of things, then why can't I exhibit that same mercy and grace to my fellow man?